Hello everybody. Sorry I made this video a little late. I am currently in my friend's house. Hello. We're gonna be making the review video with her.
Hi. The melody was actually pretty good. I liked it. When it was first brought into the sound, it made it sound pretty good. And I feel like the intro was a bit too long. It felt dragged out. And I feel like the melody that you played in the middle of the song should have been integrated into the beginning a little bit. It would kind of introduce it to us a little better.
Yeah, I gotta agree with her. The intro seems a bit... It was lacking a lot of elements. The actual synth doesn't come in until minute 1 in the song, a little bit over that. And I think the beep should have been added where the melody originally was started. Because then the beeps would have given some rhythm instead of just being this... this might be too blunt of a word or too rude of a word, but it seemed a little monotonous for an intro. There was like at least 30 or 40 seconds where it was just, you know, the beeps with some vocals and drums. I think it would have been better with the melody instead of that. And now for the transition. It seems the transition was made in very modern style. And I do not oppose or hate the modern style in any way, but the way the modern style works is it builds up in a dramatic and epic way before the actual melody and all the emotion happens. But the build-up was the melody, so there wasn't much afterwards.
It was extremely repetitive in the middle. It kind of just did the same thing over and over again, and the whole song seemed kind of monotonous for such a dramatic melody.
So for the middle of the song, the main thing that I'm noticing is, like my friend was saying, it is a little bit too repetitive. Repetitiveness is important in Gabber and House, but the amount that he had, there wasn't any variation in it. He needed something to, you know, not to build up, because there's already a ton of build up. He needs something more to the punch, to when the actual song is. Like maybe more sound effects. He has enough melodies, but he needs to make the melody maybe more fast instead of dramatic. Because that melody can be good for the intro and the transition to the actual song. But for the actual song, he needs something way faster, more energetic, and something that still evokes emotion, but in a more danceable way, you know?
I noticed that there was a new kind of melody that was introduced at the end of the song, and I think it sounded really good towards the end, and I feel like they should have taken that opportunity to put that into the more of the big part of the song, towards the middle, because I thought that the melody complemented the song pretty well.
Like she was saying, yes, the ending melody is a lot more Gabber-like than the rest of the song. And that's not to say, of course, that you can't use it. I've already said it could be used for the intro and the transition. But I'm thinking, the new melody starts around 3 minutes into the song. Just remove the part from the transition to 3 minutes in, and put the 3-minute part, just replace it there. So that the intro and the transition will still have that build-up melody, and then it'll have that, you know, more Gabber-like melody. That would be a good start to make it more fast-paced and more danceable to listen to.
I really liked the outro. I thought it was really nice. The distortion was a nice touch, and I feel like it should have been used in the beginning too.
Yeah, the outro had a much nicer feeling to it. It made a very slight curve downward until it just ended in silence. It's a very well-made outro for the song that he made. And now finally for the sound design. First, I'm going to talk about the bass drum. It sounds like one of those bass drums where it has a much higher attack. And for bass drums with a higher attack than, you know, the middle of the bass drum, those kind of bass drums need to have the mid lowered a lot, because otherwise it's going to sound like it's going ow, ow, ow. If you just, you know, slightly lower the mid, then it's going to sound way more bassy, and the kick will actually sound a lot more powerful. So I think you just should have increased more bass, to decrease some of the mid, and it would have sounded better. Maybe even some of the treble he could have lowered. And, well, this seems like a more modern style track, so I don't know if I can really criticize the synth for sounding modern. But in my ears, a synth, it does not sound complete if it's a single frequency, you know? Like, this synth doesn't sound like it's taking up the whole spectrum. He needed to boost some frequencies, especially in the low mid, and, you know, get some effectors on it, just to make it sound more colorful.
Overall, it just, mainly it was just the monotony that was kind of, just a little bit disappointing. But the melody was really good. I liked what they did with it. And I feel like the bass drum was a bit lacking though.
So overall, not a bad modern track, inspired by some old school elements. However, I would say it is a good idea. I do not condemn the modern style. The modern style can be done right, and I feel like he could have done it right in this song. He had a good, you know, modern feeling. However, it was not refined enough. He needed to take a little bit more time, I think, on this track. He might have maybe released it a bit early, maybe, but the idea of it has potential. If he wanted to work on it again, it could turn out into something much greater. So anyway, thank you everybody for watching. I'm sorry I was a bit late with this track. I said I'd make it on July 7th, but, and today is July 7th, but because of the editing, it might be released on July 8th, and if it is, I apologize. I'm gonna try my best from now on to stay on schedule.
Bye-bye.
Awesome.